Let's see. My int. So dollar my integer plus dollar my float equals. All right. What's this line going to print right here, Logan?
That is going, because you use the double quotes with variables, that is going to print out the integer plus the float, but it might error because it has the equal sign in there and nothing assigning to it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and come down here. Let's terminate this for the moment.
Is that?
And let's save this. What's that? Well, we'll also throw in a little BR in there as well. Let's save this. Tricky, huh?
It's not just going to print that?
Do what now?
Where is it? Where is it?
Right here.
Oh, I get it now.
What's
okay.
happening? We're going to call an Adam.
It's just printing out the numbers that's stored in there.
That's right.
It's not actually doing the mathematical
It's
operation.
treating these numbers as a what, Logan?
As a string.
There you go. Okay, we threw it inside quotes. No, it is. Watch. It's not actually adding them.
No, I see it's treating it as a string. I'm just kind of... I guess I get it.
Right,
Because
so
you
now,
threw it in quotes, it's looking at it like a string.
So now, go ahead, Logan.
As much as I've worked with PHP, I never realized it that way.
So now let's go ahead. Now if I come in here and we close this out and we say concatenate to that, would you say it's fair that I could do something like this, Logan? If I wanted to come in here and say dollar my integer plus dollar my float. And let's just kind of scroll things over a little bit. I know we're tight on space right here. What do you say this is going to give us?
Now, that's just a straight mathematical operation. There's no strings involved in the stuff that's inside those parentheses.
Okay.
So it should kick out the integer plus the float this time.
Okay.
So it's still going to print out both strings and equal sign and then the answer? Kind of?
Let's go ahead.
It's not going to actually say the answer, though, is it?
You tell me.
That's what I meant. I meant it was going to say the answer, isn't it?
Yes, Kristen. I knew that's what you meant. Yes, I know. So
now are you hearing things?
So now we have 5 plus 55.63 equals 60.63.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the code again real fast. We're going to pull this back up. And real fast, let's see what I did. First of all, I came in here and I said echo out. Inside of quotes, I said take this variable. Okay, so this right here got replaced by the data that's inside that variable. Now, I'm still inside quotes, so you got to keep in mind PHP, the way it's dealing with this is just a symbol. It could care less. It's not an actual mathematical operator.
Right.
Okay, so it prints out a plus.
Because it's in string.
That's right, because it's in those quotes. And then I print out dollar my float, which again PHP goes, okay, we got a variable, substitute with the data that's inside the variable, space, an equal sign, we just got another symbol, echo it out. Space. We end the quotes. Now we jump back out of our little string world. We're going to concatenate. That's what my little dot is right here. To the end of that. And now what I've got going on right here, got these parentheses. Anybody out there remember what parentheses are good for?
Algebra.
Order of
operations.
Order of operation. When we see parentheses, PHP starts solving what's on the inner parentheses first and working its way out.
Sounds good.
And right now, so basically when it goes to actually execute this line, it goes, whoa, we've got these parentheses going on in here. Before I do anything else, I'm going to take care of this line right here. Is this line inside of quotes?
No.
No. If it was inside of quotes, would it jump to it and handled it?
No.
No, because it would have just been symbols.
It would have been like it was over there.
Right, except you would have had
the little parentheses.
You got it, because they had just been symbols that would have been echoed out straight to the browser. But now in this case, we're not inside quotes right now. So we're getting the content that's inside this plus the content that's inside this. It's getting added together, and that's what replaces that whole section right there. And because of our periods, it gets concatenated to the end of this little section over here. And then to the end of that answer, we concatenate a new line.
Wow.
Right?
Easy.
I mean, is it? Yeah, for those of you out there that are completely new to this, remember this, the CD is
it probably
for you
won't sound
guys.
as easy to them.
It doesn't sound as easy to you guys at first. Just
It'll sink in.
Yeah, this is something that's going to take playing. I'm not wanting to get into variables any deeper than basically what I've done right here, and go in there and just rewatch this section, play with a few examples to kind of get a feel for how variables work. All right, is this all good with everybody?
Sounds good. It
Yep.
cleared something out for me.
Do I now?
Clear something up for me.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow. So basically, a quick recap. We talked about variables in general having two major types. They are scalar and they are array. A scalar type variable is what we have covered here. Variables that hold a single thing. One more thing, I guess I can throw this at you. We can do things like this as well. I can say $name equals $first name dot add a space in there just like we did below. $last name. Now, I could take this entire area right here, and could I or could I not just simply substitute it with $name?
You could.
That work?
Yep.
Are you guys okay? Make sure everybody's sure. I'll save it and run it if you need to see the same thing again. But all we've done, in this case right here, is PHP is going to come in here, take this side over here. It's going to take the information that's in here, concatenate a space to the end of that, and at the end of the space, it's going to concatenate whatever information is stored in here. With all of that done, it's simply going to store that information into this variable right here. And then down here, we simply echo it out, concatenate it with a line break. Okay? So keep in mind that you can do that as well. This can also, instead of concatenation, this could also be some sort of operator. Plus, minus, division, multiplication. Just be careful. If you're holding stuff like this, what type again is this? String, right?
Right.
You're going to end up with a number like 0 the moment you start trying to physically add or multiply strings together. Because they're strings. They're not actual
they're not numbers.
numbers. Yes, not numeric values. So again, back on track. Talked about scalar. Talked about arrays, where we said scalar with single values. Arrays hold a list of values. We'll be covering those on the next VTM. From there, we took a look at our scalars. This also applies for arrays as well. But that is, variables hold in general 3 primary types of data. And that type of data is a string, an integer, and a float or double. Okay, basically alphanumeric characters and symbols. Whole numbers, plus and minus, and 0 included, no decimals. That's an integer. And then we have decimals included, and that gets into floats and doubles. Okay? And we saw that PHP is smart enough to know the difference of actually doing mathematical operations with them or concatenating them together. And the way we went about doing that is by actually using a plus operator here, and then concatenation was handled through a period. Okay? And finally, I'll just throw one last thing out there just as in my recap, and that is we can also do functions, and the information that gets returned back from a function, like in this case right here, date, we can store it in a variable as well so that we can later do something with it, such as maybe add a date to that if we wanted to see what today's date is +1 or whatever. Okay?
All right.
So any questions? Pretty straightforward?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was very straightforward.
Okay, anything
I
you want to
enjoyed
add,
it.
Logan?
Nope, that covers it.
Okay, so for the very first lesson on basic introduction to variables, this concludes this section. Thanks, guys.